The crack sealing section for Sharp on SPS 3 on State Highway 99 in the northbound lanes. We're in the 3rd Field Division in Seminole County, Florida. We are just north of GPS test section 401015. Pull up and show how we're getting into a little different area than before. You see we're on a vertical curve going down on the back side of a crest, and we've got a bit more fill here than we had before. Within the test section it's quite uniform. It appears to be around 7 feet or so. I say that, it looks like it's more over here on this edge of right-of-way, but it's at grade in the northbound lanes, and apparently the natural ground is sloping from left to right across the screen as you look. So I'm just visually interpolating, if there is such a thing for that. Okay, I'm going to close the tape off right now and go down and pick up from the end and work my way back up again as I did before. Section for 40B330. Okay, and again, unlike yesterday, we're going to have some cracks to seal here. Just about every crack that appears here is either right at a 1/4 inch or it's greater. We do have some low severity cracking in here, but, well, I should say 1/8 of an inch or greater. We have some very fine hairline cracks, but not very much. Generally, the crack width is between 1/2 and 3/4 inch. We do have some places where it gets greater than that, up to around 1 inch, where we have some high severity cracking. The distresses that I noted here, the quantities and the severities for longitudinal and miscellaneous cracking are very similar to what we saw in the first section. That is 40B310. Moving on through, we've got some moderate severity, what I'm calling longitudinal cracking here. Now some more, and pick up into where it widens out quite a bit. What's interesting about this, these cracks are rather wide. They're not badly spalled. Let me get the carpenter rule to show you just how wide they are. Got my back to the sun here to cut down on the glare. This crack is around 3/4 inch wide. It looked like at one time they came out and tried to seal it. But you can follow it, and it narrows down some over there. In fact, I changed the severity level about halfway through it. We get up here, I've got it low severity and then switching over to medium severity. Back away from it. See station 4 on up ahead. We've got some in here which is borderline to high severity because of the random cracking and the higher amount of spalling. And there's some definite high severity on up ahead. These are not as, the high severities here are not quite as severe as they were on that first one. Got some places here where it's spalled. This is a high severity. I think we wound up with the same total of about 35 linear feet of high severity cracking here. Then where there's more random cracking associated with the transverse crack, it's almost to the point where it might be better classified as alligator, but trying to be consistent on these. And we see some cracking in the inside wheel path, some moderate severity. It's all greater than 1/4 inch wide. And again, we get into some high severity. Looks like some attempt has been made to patch or to seal at this location, and the crack has come up through it. And that asphalt concrete or whatever, that's what it looks like was placed, is spalling away there. Now between 3 and station 2 we have very little in the way of cracking. You can see some up ahead there around 2+20 to 2+30, some moderate severity. Longitudinal cracking in the inner wheel path. Come Coming up on station 2, we get back into some in the outside wheel path, some medium severity cracking, and then another one down here that's only about 2 feet long, and then we've got some low severity. Let's see, all this will be able to take, some of these may not, most of them will be able to take the crack sealing. And we come up and we get into a small area of, right here is mostly medium severity, but then I am differentiating by calling this high because it is so different than the other. I mean, it is, as you can see, badly spalled right there, and in fact some of the pieces are broken out. We're going up towards station 1, just passing some in the inner wheel path. Trying to stay on the horizon is a little difficult when you're moving uphill like this, so apologize if I'm losing perspective on this thing. We've got some low severity longitudinal cracking here in the inside wheel path, or near it. And then some more medium severity here in the outer wheel path, around station 0 plus 20 to 0 plus 30. And then nothing between there and the beginning of the test section, which we are rapidly approaching. Now what we did here, we've got 3 SPS3 sites that are backed up right ahead of the GPS site here. That is 40, B310, 20, and 30. And then we had to break off and go another, around 1,500 feet or so, about about 0.4 miles on up ahead to the north to get into the other one because of the number of drainage structures and so on down in this cut. We also wanted to get where the surface drainage, where the water was moving as closely similar as we could from one test section to the other, so we didn't want something down in that sag. But anyway, we're going to have to stop and move the lane closure and pick it up on up ahead and finish off the final 3 test sections along here. This ends the video for test section 40B330 on State Highway 99 northbound lanes just south of Seminole.